This is Matt with Matt's BBQ Pits, and today we're talking about fireboxes. There are different types of fireboxes out there you can get to suit your needs for what you want. You can have a grilling lid on it like this one, where you can open it up and you've got a removable meat rack. You could grill several steaks, burgers, fajitas in there. That way your pit's a combo pit. It's going to cost a little more than if you don't have a lid on it. This model here would be designed for, let's say you wanted to grill in your main cook chamber. Then you could buy one of these lift out grilling trays like we got over here. You could stick that in the cook chamber and grill in there. Then you may not want to buy the lid on the firebox. Shape of the firebox. So this one is a squared shape and a little bit taller than that round firebox. This type of firebox you might want if you're wanting to be able to fit more wood in there. The other advantage to the square shaped firebox is we can put these heat deflecting shields up top. The heat deflecting shields are going to do two things. It's going to keep the heat in the unit by deflecting the heat away from the top. We all know that heat escapes through the top, but with the heat deflector, we've able to cut the temperature down from the top of fireboxes from 650 degrees down to 390 degrees while it's running. It's a significant difference. The round firebox doesn't lend itself really in shape or design, to put these heat deflectors on the top, especially with the grilling lid. Now we can do that with the squares, obviously, and this one's set up with a slide out meat rack, and also to give you more distance between the coals and the meat rack, which is a pretty big deal for cooking chicken per se. Then you can go ahead and use small little wood chunks and chips in there and have a little bit hotter burning fire. The other one would be optimal for maybe steaks. You also could order yours where you could raise up that coal grate a little higher if you wanted to have an adjustable level. This one is a 3/8 thick firebox. 3/8 thick fireboxes are not only going to last longer than a 1/4 inch thick firebox because it's thicker, it's going to hold the heat in better, so you'll have, you don't have to have as big of a fire for the pit to run. And that also saves the firebox long term. The bigger the fire you got to have in it, the more wear and use it gets each time you fire up your pit. So a 3/8 firebox, it's going to cost a little more money, but it's going to last longer, and you're going to burn less wood to run your pit. And whereas it's not necessarily so important on the smaller models, 2040, 2030, especially, it is nice to have, and it will help you and give you those benefits, but it's crucial on a larger size pit such as the 2048. Put the 3/8 firebox on it, and then when you put the vertical cabinet on the end, the 3/8 firebox is very important. The 1/4 inch is going to be underpowered for this size unit for sure. You'll have to have too big of a fire to really run them right with the 1/4, although you can. You can certainly do it, and they'll certainly run okay, but it's nice to have the 3/8 firebox. Let's just put it that way. You will use a lot less wood during the life of your pit, which is time and money. So that would definitely be a consideration there. What was I going to get at? Okay, so for this model, this is our 2040 Basic Texas Edition. With this model, we could install the heat shield at the top because the lid doesn't open. So you may want to consider that if you're someone that's ordering one of these basic versions without the grilling lid on top. Putting that heat deflector in there may be a pretty good idea for you. Hot plates. The hot plates are going to be nice for a couple of reasons. Number one, the hot plate, you can set something on it, a pot of beans or some sauce to keep warm while you're cooking. We like to put it on this model and on the basic model as well, whether you got a lid or not. You know, it also helps so that, you know, you don't end up having that extra paint wear over time. It sort of hides that issue, which is pretty nice. And that's another thing I would say is a major advantage of having that square firebox, or where you can put that heat deflector shield underneath. So not only going to use less fuel while your pit's running, but it does protect the top of your firebox, you know, from the hot flames. So it will help keep your pit lasting longer. And then next, we'll do a video on insulated fireboxes here in a few. We've got a couple of insulated fireboxes on trailer pits in the yard we'd like to show off. We like to put those on 24 diameter pits rather than the 20 diameter backyard, and because you do lose a little bit of room inside. Whereas a 24 diameter, you'll end up with plenty of room with that insulated firebox. We can put the insulated on this model, the 24. We can build 24 48s, 24 40s, 24 54s, 24 60s, basically whatever's, you know, size or length that you want. Wheels, that's a consideration on fireboxes as well. You know, one of the reasons we don't sell, like, let's say the 2048, usually with the 1/2 inch firebox, is the 3/8 is going to be a nice heavy lid. You can certainly open and close it, but once you go to like a 1/2 inch plate steel, that gets a little heavy. And the motor wheels are quite popular on the 2048 model and 2040 model. And there's 3/8 is thick enough on the firebox. 1/2 inch would put this model over the weight where you would have a failure with, you know, let's say a rubber wheel. You would lose that option where you'd have to go with a steel wheel only, or maybe go-kart, you know, fancy golf cart wheels, and spend a lot of extra money. So anyways, I hope I helped you in talking about fireboxes and showing you the different options and things we do here at Matt's BBQ Pits, and we'll show you the insulated firebox next. I hope to see you soon.